Hey, Drew, good to see you.
Hello.
A little bit of a non-quarterback question, but with AJ Boye's suspension today, it just seems like the hits just keep coming to you guys, whether it's injuries, COVID, suspension, all these kinds of things. Are you guys at the point where you just kind of roll with the punches and figure like, okay, well, this is 2020, weird things are going to happen, or do any of these negative things kind of shake you a little bit?
I definitely believe we have adopted the 2020 mindset that anything can happen at this point, and adversity is adversity, and we'll keep punching and finding our way through it all. It's obviously upsetting what happened, but like I said, it's 2020. If you can expect anything to happen in this year, and that's what we're doing. And then when something does pop up, we roll with it and keep moving on.
Next one, Jeff.
Drew, just this is sort of in regard to when you go back and look at things, but I've had play callers in the past tell me that like short intermediate stuff can be easy money, they call it. But do you need to take the easy money more often?
I think I need to take better care of the football for sure. That's number one. But depending on what play is called, it's matter of fact of if it's there, we're going to take it. But if I need to hit a check down for 2 to 4 instead of, forcing a ball downfield, that's what I need to do. I like extending plays, but I got to be better on when to extend it. And when I do extend it, seeing if this is a throw that, really is going to help us stay on the field and keep progressing, or if it's going to be a risky one to, that might get us off the field. Obviously, you have to take risks in this game as a quarterback, and you have to keep your aggressive nature. And I will, but there's part of, realizing when it's time to make those throws and, letting the game come to us at the beginning. And if it's the end of the game and you got to try to make something happen, then you can do it then. But I think taking the easy ones needs to keep progressively getting better.
Hey, Drew, when you face an opponent for the first time like Carolina, at the beginning of the week, where do you start your studying at? Is it base down, third down, red zone?
Yeah, we'll start in regular. We'll start in base. It depends on the team, really. I mean, this team this week's going to play a lot of nickel, so we watched a lot of nickel. If we look at our game plan and we see that we're going to be in a lot of, personnel where we need to watch base and then get to nickel, then we will. It just depends on the week for us. Depends on what we're thinking attack-wise. We'll watch it all, and then we'll end up focusing more on a certain defensive group. But this week is big nickel week, so we're watching a lot of that right now.
Thanks, man.
Drew, besides taking care of the football, is there anything you're focused on in particular over these final 4 weeks? And do you view this as a chance to prove yourself going into next year?
I'm just focused on winning games, regardless of how that gets done. And if that means, I throw for 100 yards and we win, so be it. We won the game and we found a way to win. If that means throwing for a lot and winning the game, so be it. That's how it needed to be done. That's how we won the game. So my biggest focus is on just winning football, playing winning football, no penalties, taking care of the ball, keeping the offense on the field, progressing, completions, just playing winning football as a quarterback.
Next one, Brandon.
Drew, kind of following up on Jeff's question about where you're looking, and I asked Vic about it. You guys are second to last in the league in attempts to the running back or targets to the running back percentage-wise and overall attempts. I know you didn't start every game. And he said sometimes you aren't getting that third and fourth reads. Is that something that you and Pat talk about a lot? Because Pat joked early in the year about you having a 60-yard check down. So does that come up in conversation frequently?
Yeah, it does. And it's about knowing that you can make those deep ones. But, if it's not the optimal look here, those backs are in the flat, those tight ends are in the flat. And, we have these checkdowns on these plays for a reason. You dial them up for a couple specific looks, and if they don't give it to you, there's no need to force it. There's completions underneath, and it's all about finding completions in this league.
Next one, Troy.
Drew, your relationship with Jerry Jeudy has been kind of ongoing and developing. He tweeted after the game that he was happy he just got his conditioning in. He seemed disappointed that he didn't get more targets. Do you sense he's frustrated because of the way, take the Saints game out of it, but that the way he's getting defensed? Is that part of it, that teams are kind of making an effort to take him out of the game?
You know, I mean, if he's happy about not getting the amount of balls that he wants, then I think there's something going on there. You want a receiver that wants the ball. You want a guy that wants it in his hand, that wants to make plays. And that's what we like about Jerry. He wants the ball in any situation, beginning of the game or crunch time towards the end. And, you know, that people play him a certain way. And, you know, you go throughout the game and, you know, you make your reads, and sometimes you don't end up getting to him, and sometimes you hit the guy. He could have been the second person in the read, but one was open. It's just how the game flows. And I know he's learning that right now as a receiver in this league, that there are times where, you know, it's tough to get the ball every once in a while. And it's just about fighting through those games and getting ready to practice the next week and go to the next one thinking you're going to go catch 15 that game, and just be ready for that opportunity for the next Sunday.
Next one, Marquez.
When you say 2020 is all about expect anything, I think we all hear that. Has 2020 been more than you could have possibly expected? What's been the biggest challenge for you in 2020? And what's your level of patience with your own development? Why some of us, myself included, are impatient with your development?
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world now where everyone wants everything really fast. You know, everyone wants it right now. We get that with our phones. I mean, you want to click on an app, it's going to pop up instantly. It's the same thing in football. You know, you want greatness really, really fast. I want it. Trust me. I want to be great as bad as the people at home watching the game want to be great. I want it more than they want it. And it's about me finding ways throughout the week to just keep getting better. And it's going to happen. It's slowly happening. We're going to make a big jump this week just by practice this week. We need to focus up, get ready for this game against Carolina. But trust me, I mean, as bad as people want it from me, I've always wanted it more, and I'm trying everything I can to keep this thing rolling.
Guys, time for a few more. Next one, Jonathan Alexander from the Charlotte Observer.
Drew, hope you're doing well. I don't know if you've been able to see how much of Carolina you've been able to see on film, but if you have, what have you seen from Brian Burns?
Yeah, good old Brian. I think it's going to be, it's going to be a task for us to block him. Extremely fast, gets around the edge quick, super athletic. I know him from just draft classes and recruiting classes in college, so I know he's a problem on the field, and we'll have to keep an eye on him throughout the game. That's for sure.
Final two, Andrew.
Hey, Drew, there's a lot that's said kind of in the public about a quarterback getting into rhythm. Is that true for you, that it's important to get into rhythm in the game? And if so, what kind of throws, what kind of plays are the best that you feel that can get you in a rhythm on Sunday?
Every quarterback wants to get in a rhythm in a game. But more and more I'm in this league, you realize the ones that, that might be on the sideline for 6 to 8 minutes that come out and still fire off and lead a team down the field, that necessarily you wouldn't consider them in a rhythm. They've been on the field twice and a half, but they go out and play really well in each of those drives. Those are the really successful quarterbacks in this league. And it's my job to find a way to stay in rhythm when, maybe we do go 3 and out on a drive and I threw, one ball in that drive and come out and there's 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and there's not a lot that I've been able to do necessarily on no one's fault besides our own as the offense, not gaining first downs. But it's about the quarterbacks that can stay in rhythm without actually having to really find their rhythm, get going and get a couple completions, get to the free throw line, so to say. So that's been my big thing, is just staying locked in, staying focused. Laser focus on the sideline. When it is my time to make that play in that drive, then I'm ready, even if it is the first time in that game.
Final one, Kyle.
You mentioned taking better care of the football. How do you let those interceptions over the last 7 games not dent your confidence? And then also, are those plays that you really dive into and examine quite a bit more than other tape, per se?
Yeah. I'll go back and watch those a couple times. They hurt. They sting. They're big points in the game. and you know that they're ones going back, so it's tough to go back and watch that multiple times. But you have to learn from it. You have to see where your mistakes are coming from, and know when to not make those mistakes. It just goes back to when those first look, second look, or maybe even the third look aren't there. It's time to get to the fourth look and check it down if you have to. It's something that I'm still, developing, but I feel like I'm also getting better with the times. It's just about making that right decision 100% of the time at the quarterback position. You make 2 errant throws that, force picks in that last game, and that's too many. So just got to keep focusing on it and keep making the right decisions with the ball.